Alright, Nick, let's see if we can get this thing to work right. I should get a little tiny bit of AMD on here. I've already used the heat gun to make this set, but let's see if I can kind of... So, when I'm doing an outline, I will actually have my index finger right here, middle finger right there next to the cartridge, and then I have these two to help balance. So I can either go like this, or however. But, so I just pull it one whole line, all in one shot. I'm currently running at, I think, 6.5? Yeah, 6.5. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to do it on this one leaf, or this one pedal, real quick. So, just so you can get a good idea of it. Outline is kind of important, but not really. So this one, I'm just going to pull it backwards. Okay. And then I just dab it. I don't smear it. Okay, now this is a 7 shader. So on the shading, here's one way that you can do it with the texturing. It'll give you a little bit bigger of a dot. So I'm going to go up to about 7. I'll go 7.5. And then you just flick in the direction. So the leaf, or the petal goes this way. Kind of has a little bit of curvature to it. And so you find your starting point, and then you just push it out like that. Just flick it. And see, I'm making it directional to add a little bit of texture. If it's not going right, you can adjust the voltage, you can change the speed, you can do whatever you're comfortable with. But see, so I'm doing more of a whip shade to get the texture. That looks like there's a lot there, but it's a really good foundation to start layering. So see, now I got that, so I'm going to actually change it to a 3, and I'm going to just turn it down to a 6.5. Have a proper needle hang, and then, here's what you do. I just kind of have more crosshatch, but I space it out, because I need this part to be the darkest, and then, same thing. The crosshatching will give it more of an even flow. See, and I'm just using straight black, I'm not changing it. And see, since it has the lines coming out to the end, I'll flick this way towards the center, kind of give it some definition and some lines. If you want more of lines instead of dots, then you can just go a little bit slower. And see, so now, when I wipe it, it will have kind of more of the texture lines, like right there. So, see, and then you can just kind of lightly, just let your hand just feather right in, and lightly build them up. So see, if I were to turn this all the way down, I'm going to turn it down for you so you can see. So I'm going to go all the way to 4.5. If I do 4.5, you have to move your hand really slow for that. But see, then if I move my hand really fast, it kind of gives it more of the dot feel to it, the stipple effect. Okay? So, crap. That looks horrible. Hang on a second, let me clean that real quick. Okay. And so, that's with it being at a slower speed. So I'll show you how to do it on this one. I'll get this one going at about 7. Very, very, very light pressure. But I'm going to try and whip this entire pedal, okay? Or stipple the entire pedal. God. This is why I don't like fake skin. This one's better than the Amazon one, but still. Okay, so added a little bit of texture so it has the lines. Now, I'm going to show you on this bigger leaf pedal. God damn, sorry. I'll show you what I mean with the mag. Because I think that this one is an 11, if I'm right. Just a regular 11 mag, not a curve. And see, so this one you're just going to have to go just a little bit bigger. So you can do it really light. And you can do the same thing. Just kind of flow it out. Just light pressure. And see, the faster the machine is going, the higher the voltage, then the more hits it will have every time. And it'll should give you more of like that, more of a smoother blend. So you can still see the miniature dots from each needle. And so then but you want to make sure that your machine is at about 45 degrees with the cart, because if not, it'll slice it, and you don't want that. Or you'll shovel it, like this. If you shovel it, it'll show all the different needles. So this one, I just lightly feather it in, and this part needs to be darker. And so you can even do the same thing coming up. And if it's just going in way too fast, you can turn it down by a volt or half a volt on your machine, whichever you're going to feel comfortable with. And then you can just feather it in. And this one is a little bit bigger of a pedal and a mag, so it's not going to give you the same effect as if you were to come back down to, say, the 3. And I'm not changing the stroke on my machine. I'm leaving it just the way it was. So it's a strict 4.0, and so I just make adjustments with my hand. So I just kind of change it a little bit. A 3 at a lower speed will get you more control, but it'll just take more time. So you just have to kind of feather it in, let it go, and see. So they have all the little tiny dots in there, but you want to focus on layering, blend it in, nice and easy. Because see, if I were to push this in, it's at 6 right now. If I were to take this and cram it in and move my hand just in a very small area, faster speed, it will give me a line of where it's at. And then to try and blend that in, it can give you a harder time. So I like to just whip it out. I mean, in this one, you would just have to do a bigger area and just move a little bit faster. And you can kind of blend it in as it goes. You just play with the contrast until you feel it's comfortable. But also remember, depending on what ink you have, it could change it to where it's just not. It'll go a little bit darker, it'll go lighter, it depends on the healing, so you want to just make sure that you get familiar with your ink. But so, see, this is just layering it in, this is just playing with it, kind of getting a good feel for it. But see, I need more definitive marks down here. And see how I did this line right here in a big 7 shader? Well, I don't. Normally when you do flowers and stuff, you don't want that. So what you can do is you can do kind of like a sketched line. We've done it in art many times. You just get, and I'm not using a gray wash right now. I'm actually doing it with the higher speed, but I'm moving my hand more. But so you can give it kind of more of a faint line, just lightly, and just more sketch it in. So it gives you more of just that change of tone, not necessarily a big hard line to kind of separate it. Once you build that up, then you can kind of start to shake it out and kind of give it more of a blurred-ish background to kind of help with that standing out. But as long as you take your time, don't push it, just take your time. You will be building it up nice and easy. So I'll show you this one on the mag with just the black, nothing else, like I said. And see, you can even have it hanging out a little bit. You can have the needle hang. I don't know if that's focusing for you right now, but you can have the needle hang sticking out. And then you just lightly flick it. Now that you've already had this base down for this line, the more you touch it, the darker it'll go. And see, so I'll show you. I'll kick this up to about 7.5, and you can hear it. Bigger marks. Sorry, buddy. This one's frustrating me. I struggle with this fake skin stuff. And so this is technically when you would kind of get the darker area closest to it. So you can just take it, do a nice accent line up it. Now the lighter you go, and if you don't go as deep, that little tiny line that I'm using right now is going to fall out. And see, if you take your time, play around with the mag. Kind of get a good feeling for it. Oh, see, that line was a little bit dark, but that's okay. So right now, I'm on my 4.0 stroke with a 10-11 or an 8-11? Oh, an 8-11 mag. and I'm just lightly putting some textured lines in there. And see, I can even come back down to here. Just do some tiny little marks just to get it. Also, if you want more of a softer blend, you can turn your machine down, which I just turned it down to 6. Okay? If you need a softer blend, sorry, hold on, let me clean this up real quick. Damn skin. Okay. Okay, so you see how there's the streaks? A little dotty right there. So just get some ink in there. And then instead of pushing this way, you want to pull back. So, like right here. And just barely touch it. Just let her go. And once you get it, you can actually use a mag as a liner once you get a feel for it. I'd probably recommend keeping that on thick skin though. Okay. And then you see the difference? See, when I push it in, there's resistance and the machine takes it. And you can hear the voltage and the sound, the frequency of it change. Now if you were to pull backwards, it takes the resistance off. And then it gives you more of a nice, smaller blend. Can never clean this crap enough. Okay, so you see? See how it's a much lighter blend right there? Because I was pulling backwards. And you can do the same thing with a shader. This one's a 7 shader. Or a liner. This one's a 3. Well, let me know, man. Tell me what you think.